We have got everything. I keep telling you that I'm 78 now, a bit junior to the elders there, but also not to be neglected in terms of biological progression. But I eat only African foods. I never eat, I don't eat bread because I'm not a European. I don't eat rice because I'm not an Indian. I eat our foods. Akalo, millet, muhogo. The only non-Ugandan food I eat is Irish potatoes, obumonde. Those obumonde, I eat them because they have got low starch. They are not as starch. I eat them. I eat a little bit one at night because I don't want too much starch at night. Then I eat our other indigenous, the vegetables and so on. So I think it's very good to capture these stories because these are live libraries here. And I'm also a junior. I'm also a junior librarian, not as senior as these ones, but also a junior one. But I must tell you about how Dr. Alika gave me a nice lunch in Nairobi. Because when he ran from here, he went to Nairobi and he opened a dental clinic there. So in our fight against Idi Amin, somehow one day I linked up with him, I don't know through whom, together with a Tanzanian army officer who was working with me underground to coming here and going back. He gave us a very nice lunch in one of those places in Nairobi. So, like food, we have got every type of food here. Fish, sweet potatoes, all those foods, they were indigenous here. Medicine, so on. So our only problem was always with the governance, the chiefs not waking up. Okay, when we were alone, without external pressures, maybe they didn't understand the importance. After all, the population was not so big, so these kingdoms were self-sufficient in what they needed. But when we were exposed to the foreigners who came, because the exposure of Africa started with the fall of Constantinople to the Turkish in 1453, when the Ottoman Turks captured Constantinople and cut off Western Europe from the east, from China and India, from the Silk Road, they were calling it. You have heard the Chinese president talking about the Silk Road these days. That trade route from east to west, founded by Marco Polo some centuries before, was cut when the Ottoman Turks took over Constantinople, what they call now Istanbul. That's when the Europeans now started looking for another route to the east, the sea route, led by the Portuguese. And you can see it didn't take long. 1453, the Ottoman Turks take over Istanbul. By 1482, the Portuguese were where Angola is. A man called Diego Cama, a Portuguese. By 1487, a Portuguese man called Bartholomew Diaz go to the Cape of Good Hope. That's why they call it the Cape of Good Hope. They saw the African coast going north. Then they knew that they were about to go around the continent. And 1498, Vasco da Gama went around the Cape and landed at Natal on Christmas Day. That's why they called that place Natal, Nativity in Latin. Now, from that time, the Europeans started coming along our coast. This should have woken up the chiefs to wake up and say, no, we better get together to protect ourselves. But they didn't. Instead, just full of egoism. Until Huntington's Peak gets here, 1862. This is almost 400 years from the time of Vasco da Gama. And me, from the clans of here, because I am from one of the most ancient clans here, we have the stories. We are coming that some strong people are coming from abroad. There was even a prophet called Kakarakashagama from Karagwe, from Tanzania, who was prophesying that you people, if you don't wake up, this land will be taken by foreigners. He was prophesying, that man from Tanzania, from Karagwe. But anyway, it's good that we have survived all those problems. We are now here. It's good that we capture this heritage, but capture it also with a progressive angle, not just a frozen way. Among the people who expose the history are the archaeologists. Katsushima talked of Professor Posnaske. I don't know whether he's still alive. He used to come here. He used to come some time ago. But there are others, like our teacher at the University of Dar es Salaam, Dr. Sutton. How do you pronounce it? Is it Sutton or Sutton or what? Sutton. This is the problem with the English. They write U, they say A. What is the A now? That's where the Bantu dialects are very clear. The way you speak it, the way you write. But the English, SU. Then SA, where is the Satan now? I don't see it here. So that Dr. Sutton wrote a good piece after they did the work at Begobia Mjini and Tutsi, which I like very much. And I want to engage those archaeologists because you could see that they have some information, but it's not enough because they don't know our culture. They don't know. For instance, one of the pieces I read, I think it was written by Sutton, saying that when they dug up the bones of the cows at either Tutsi or Vigo, that they found that all these bones were of young calves. So according to the European mind, they said, oh, this must be a ritual, a religious ritual. Because why were they only slaughtering young cows? They don't, this is because they don't know our culture. And the people they were interacting with could not tell them. But among those groups, we don't eat adult cows. It is a sacrilege to eat an adult cow. You don't slaughter a cow. Cows are not for slaughtering. But we slaughter young bull calves because we don't need them. Somebody like Tumsim there would tell you it is called Octarian Tramutwe. You prefer the female calves, a nyana. So if the cow produces a numi, a bull calf, you kill it and eat it so that the mother You see, the English don't have enough words. They say dries up. When the cow stops milking, they say it has dried up. Dried up. But for us, of course, we have got more words. It's called okwesa, so that the mother stops producing milk and therefore conceives again to bring another calf. So, but I really liked the work of Dr. Sutton, and I want to engage those archaeologists so that we can interpret that information with our own local knowledge which we have here. So I congratulate everybody. Thank you for taking this Rubimbi, or Rubimbi. How do you say it in English now? Huh? Kanakwa, you come and translate in the 6 or what? Who translates Rubimbi?
Your Excellency, I would take that to mean task.
Task?
Task, yes.
Who can try better than Kanakwa? Ani asobola okukyusa olubimbi? Abanyankole call it orujezi. In Acholi they call it katara. Huh? Who can translate it? Because task. Huh? Kale kiremye katukireke. But anyway, it is. This is when in our traditional setting, when we are cultivating, each one takes his or her line of responsibility. I have my Rubimbi, we are abreast. I have mine, you have yours, and each one cultivates his portion, the assignment, you can call it assignment or something like that.